Hello everybody, Jayma Malme here, and today we're going to be documenting some cute Halloween memories. These pictures remind me so much of this Halloween, and it was super special because it was the first Halloween that my son really understood trick-or-treating and was so excited and was like running to all the houses. It was so cute, and we were with his little buddy here, Hulk, and they just had so much fun. So even though I have already documented some of this in my 12 by 12 album, I'm actually going to be documenting this in an album that I started last year for Halloween through the years. I had this idea last year because I thought, you know what, it'd be fun for my kids to look through this album each year around this time of year and see what they were in years past. That's so fun to look at, right? So I'll have a title page here. I still need to do that will say Halloween through the years, and then it starts with 2014, which is the first year my daughter dressed up, and then 2015, 16, and I've already done this page, and it has a process video. I'll link that down below for you, and so on. So I'm doing 2018 today, and I decided to do a 2-page spread because I wanted to keep this photo as a 4x6, and then I wanted these photos to be 3x4, or they're actually trimmed down a little bit so that they have a 3x4 mat. So they'll either be like that, or maybe like that. I'm going to be using a sketchbook to help me. This is a sketchbook from the creative design team. Actually, this is the one that we came out with last year, and it was so popular and we loved it so much that we came out with another one. But this is the original. It says 2022, but it is timeless, and it even has a checklist of ideas to take pictures of if you're going to be doing a December daily. But as you can see, I've done Halloween as well as my December daily, so it's very versatile, and it's all 6x8 sketches, so you've got a whole variety of ideas. There's even some pocket page ideas at the back if you add some pocket pages in there. And I had mine bound at Staples. This is available as a digital download, and I'll have the link down below if you're interested in purchasing this, so you could save it on your iPad or whatnot and just have it in front of you as you're following along, or you can have it bound like this, like I did. Now this one is hot off the press. I haven't even had a chance to get it bound yet, and I was working on one of the pages, so I have these all mixed up now. But I was thinking of using maybe a page like this. And even though this says 3x3 and these are not 3x3, you don't have to be literal. Take a sketch as inspiration and you can still use it and overlap. I want to have it like this, I think, because I have a whole bunch of blank space here, and so I can kind of overlap it like that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have my title over this photo and have it like this, or have it on these photos, but either way I will orient it like this, but then I'll probably add the title and the strip like this, so you can mix and match sketches. And I'll be using another completely different sketch from this book. Let's see if I can find it again. This one right here for this page. So even though they're on totally different pages, they're not designed to be a cohesive 2-page layout. I'm going to show you tips to make it a cohesive 2-page layout. And if you don't do 6x8 albums, then don't worry. Some of the ideas that I share will translate to any size scrapbook layout that you're doing. So this is what I'll be working from to make my layouts come together a lot quicker. And the whole creative design team is collaborating this week, showing ideas using the sketchbooks. So be sure to stay tuned to the rest of their channels. I'll have a playlist linked at the end. All right, so let's look at this collection that I'm using. I decided on these photos because they work really well with this I Want Candy paper, which is close to my heart's hybrid Halloween and candy theme paper, and I just thought it was so cute. It's not super Halloween-y, but I'm gonna be able to make it work with these photos and probably some of the other photos that I have. This is the only paper that is really Halloween themed, and so as you can see, the purples and the blues and even some green, that's going to work really well with my photos. Now this is a very busy paper and there's a lot of color on here, so we don't want to just, you know, slap the photos on this paper. I'm going to show you ways to make your photos really pop and still use the busy paper. And then take a look at these papers here. These are not Halloween themed at all, except for this one says candy all over it, which is super cute. So if you have pink photos for your Halloween, then this would work. Otherwise, I'm thinking birthday, and these other ones just scream birthday or Easter or just bright colors. I love these, and I could see using them on like thank you cards too. Now this polka dot one is the one with the stripes on the background. That is my favorite. I think I'm just going to use all stripes, and look at how good it looks with the stars. So even though I'm probably not going to use a lot of this for Halloween photos, I might get a couple of layouts done using it. I have some great options for other things as well. So here's the sticker sheet. We have, you know, all of the colors and pennants, but they don't have to be for Halloween, but they can be. There's only a few stickers on here that are really super Halloween-y, and then the rest of them can be used on lots of different things. Now, I was most excited about the stamp and die sets for this collection. So I ended up getting the whole collection. You can get it at a discount if you get the paper pack and the stamps and these cute little puffy stickers, as well as the cardstock. There's even a cardstock pack that has all of the colors that are in this collection, and it includes glitter paper. How pretty is that? So anyways, I had to have this spider web. It was not an option to not get it. So I got this whole stamp set really just for the spider web. There are a lot of other really cute stamps and icons. These ones will be great for titles. I do have some other stamp sets with, you know, ghosts and stuff on it, but I really needed this, and I'm definitely going to be using this today. And then this one is all just candy theme, and so I thought this would be great for Halloween, but also I've been using it in my December daily. So these are some pages from my 2022 December daily, and I'm almost done with it. I'm trying to get it done to do a whole share with you next week. But this was a photo of us decorating cookies, and there's candy and stuff all over the cookies. So look at how cute the little candy stamps were for that. And actually my favorite on here are just these little dies. They're not stamps, these are just the dies with a little swirl on there, and then this is just the outline. So you can see here the red and then the outline in black, and then I put some stickles on there and just rubbed it around with my finger on the center there, and then I colored the rest of them to just look like Christmas candies. And then I used them on this page as well, my son getting the candy out of the advent calendar, and so I have a few little candies on here. And then I also have some gingerbread house making pictures that I haven't done yet, and so I'll probably be using this on those pages as well. All right, so now I've shown you everything. Let's go ahead and get started on today's layout.
I'm going to start by selecting my paper, and of course I'm going to start with this one because I know I'm going to use this Halloween themed one. And then I'm thinking I want cardstock as the next layer so that I have a busy pattern up top and down below, and then something solid in between so that it's not as busy right up next to the photo. So I decided to go with the Sapphire, and that's because we have Sapphire in that patterned paper in the background, and I liked having the dark sapphire as the next color too, because then that white border around my photo really pops and helps my photo to pop. I cut a whole bunch of those spider webs out because I know that I'm going to use them on multiple projects, so I figured might as well just cut a bunch and then I can decide which color I want to use. I decided on the white for, again, that contrast between the sapphire and the white. Of course, my tape runner ran out, so I had to refill that real quick. And I am mounting these photos on white as well. I already had the 4x6 one backed with white, and then I have these backed in white too. And I'm deciding what spider web I want to use over here. I wasn't sure how much patterned paper I wanted to use on this side, but I decided to take the inspiration from that other layout that I had in the sketchbook where there's the two photos, and it had a vertical strip going down the side, and it was going down the left side. So what I did was I just changed that to be going down the right. So automatically by doing that, I've tied in that right page to the left page because we have that same patterned paper again. And then I added the same cardstock, and then I added another little strip, and I have those little white gaps between each paper so that it mimics that same look that we have on the left page. So there are already several things that are tying in both pages, even though we use completely different sketches. And then I'm also using the same color of spider spider web to tie in that element as well. And because I like to have a visual triangle, I have 3 spots where the spider web is, and you saw me just cut that spider web in half so I could strategically use 2 spider webs and make it look like 3. Now I cut out 3 of those little candy pieces and the outlines and scattered those around, and then I decided I needed more orange. I have so much orange in the photo on the left, and I have all those pumpkins, so I wanted to add a pumpkin over on the right. Now while I have this stamp out, I'm just going to stamp it several times. That way next time I want a pumpkin, I don't have to stamp it again. I can just color it and cut it out. So I've got 4 pumpkins here. I'm going to color and cut out 1, and then we'll have 3 left over for another time. I decided to color with colored pencils because a lot of the stickers on this sticker sheet are kind of muted tones, and so I didn't want to use my markers because those would have been so much more vibrant than the stickers. Now this is still a little bit more vibrant than the stickers, but not as vibrant as using markers. But I'm using kind of the same principles as I would with markers, and I am not a professional colorist. I'm not great at all the shading and shadowing and highlights and all that. I just like to kind of fake it and make it look good. So I just took an orange colored pencil. These are the new Spectrum Noir colored pencils that Close to My Heart started carrying, and I really like how they blend. And I went over it mostly with orange, went over it darker with the same orange and kind of some shadow or highlight areas, and then I went over it with the red color, which is kind of an orangey red, and then blended it again with the orange. So by going over it again darker, that helps to really blend it and kind of going in circular motions. And then I grabbed a brown. Now there's lots of browns in the landscapes pack, and so I just grabbed one. I don't have these swatched yet, and it was a little too reddish brown, so then I kind of tested a bunch of them and found a darker brown that I liked better and just colored the top. I didn't worry about shading or anything on that, and then I will cut it out. I wanted to show this because I wanted to tell you about this Sizzix Sidekick machine. If you don't have that, I've really been loving it because it's so small and I can just always have it right at my desk. My bigger die cutting machine is behind me, and I have to get up to get to it. First world problems, I know, but I really like having that little tiny one. I liked the stickles technique on my Christmas album so much that I decided to do it again. So this time with silver stickles, I'm just putting a little blob in the middle and taking my finger and spreading it out, and it's really as easy as that. You just have to let it dry. So I'm going to set those aside, and I chose some stickers that I thought might work with this, and I'm taking the stick off with this anti-static powder bag, and I'm going to audition them around the page. I was thinking maybe that ghost at first up there, and then I have this purple Happy Halloween, but I didn't like the purples next to each other, so I'm going to try this blue ghost, and I'm liking that. And I do like that Happy Halloween. It looks good right there. And then I want to bring some purple somewhere else in the layout. So I have this little candy with the bat on it, and I'm trying to find a place for that. And then there's this group shot sticker that I want to be by the group shot, of course. So trying to find a place for this little bat still. This is all just a game of, it's kind of like a puzzle, like find where the pieces will go. At first I was thinking that maybe I don't have enough embellishments for this page, but as it turns out, I went a little bit crazy with the embellishments and ended up with more than I even anticipated, but I'm happy with how it turned out. There were all of these little word sayings on the sticker sheet, and there were just a handful of them that were Halloween themed, and so I was trying to use as much of them as I could in case I don't have very many other Halloween layouts with colors that they'll work with. And then I started laying out these little candies. They're not quite dry yet, but I wanted to just kind of find a place for them on the page. And then I realized that I wanted to have more than just these 3. This I'm going to fuss with so much. I just wanted to keep this in and speed it up a lot to show you I mess with things way too much. So I cut out 3 more of those candies and did the same treatment on them, laid everything out. And then I decided that I wanted to add some background stamping on the Sapphire. That background, there was a lot of the plain cardstock showing, especially on the right page, and I wanted it to have a little bit of pattern but still be subtle so that it doesn't take away too much from the photos. So I'm doing tone on tone stamping with this little trick or treat bag. I thought that was cute, and I'm going to do Sapphire ink on the Sapphire cardstock just to add a little pattern. This is a really great way to create your own patterned paper. I do this all the time, and I did it in another layout with flowers. Flowers are a really fun type of stamp to do random stamping with. I will link to that video down below because that was really fun to add to basically create your own patterned paper. So I'm just going to keep doing this on all of the Sapphire cardstock that's going to be showing. Of course, it's easier to do this before you glue everything down. I glued all the background papers down once I was committed, and luckily I hadn't glued the embellishments down. Now, once you stamp all of your image, and you can do a whole bunch of different images if you want, but there's little tiny gaps between all of those trick-or-treat bags. So I just pulled out a couple of stars that were on the candy stamp set. Now, most of Close to My Heart's stamp sets have these little tiny stamps. They're called scatter stamps, is what Karen from Close to My Heart has called them, and they are so wonderful for random stamping for this technique because you always have these little nooks and crannies and little awkward places, and it just kind of helps to fill them in. So they are great for creating your own DIY patterned paper. So I've got the small star and the little bit bigger star, and just going to go through and fill in all of those little spaces. And then I'm going to do this same treatment over on the left page, only I'm going to really screw up here. So I'm blocking off those white pages, and then, oh my gosh, I did not press hard enough, and I had a big part of my stamp missing, and then of course I didn't line it up perfectly again. So I will take this off and then do it properly, putting it on the strip before it's actually glued down. So if I had thought about this before, I would have done this before gluing everything down, of course. So just kind of twisting and turning it to make it look natural, and then I did the same thing filling in with all of the stars. I moved the spider web down a bit because there's going to be stickers covering that, and then I found this mermaid from this old paper pack called Making Waves, and my daughter was a mermaid princess, so I really liked having it there in the little cluster, and I fussy cut it out of the paper. And then we're going to add these little candies back in. I'm not going to fuss with it as much. I don't know why I even fussed with it so much since I had to take it apart anyway. I used this Spooky Good Time as my title, which is from the Boo Crew Halloween pack from a couple of years ago. And then I added in a few more of those little word stickers, a few little pieces of candy to bring more pops of color. And I really was trying to stop because you get to a point where you have so much fun embellishing. At least I do. This is my favorite part. I just love adding all of these fun embellishments and playing around. And I probably went a little bit overboard. Looking back now, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have stopped a little bit. But this is how it turned out, and I am super happy with it. So there's a close-up look at all of the glittery candies. I put a lot of these things up on foam tape, and you can see a close-up of all of that stamping on the background. It adds some interest without being too busy. And then I'm going to add my journaling with these little journal strip stickers, those skinny ones. I love those things to add journaling, but I just haven't done that yet. It'll go down there. And then off camera, I changed this strip on the right to Sapphire. It was orange, and it just stood out too much. I didn't like it because there was no orange cardstock on the other page. So there you have it, a double page layout from 2 single page sketches. I have photos over on Instagram and Facebook, and check out the video on the left for more Halloween inspiration. And be sure to check out the Creative Design Team playlist on the right for more inspiration using our sketchbooks. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.